What's up guys, Sub-Zero here with another game from set 9.5 PvE. This game I got to play one of my favorite comps from set 9.0, but of course updated to 9.5, and it's got a crazy new carry. So I hope you guys enjoy, but I know, you guys can't focus on the video. You guys are staring at this really nice, high quality, soft t-shirt with a cool design. So before we get into the game, let's go into a message from our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Into the AM. Look at this nice, comfy t-shirt that I got from them. It's got this a beautiful little design on the front that's pretty minimalistic. Yeah, check that out. And then the big showstopper is the back. Look at that beautiful, beautiful design from them. It's a very, very soft t-shirt. Feels great to wear. I wore one of these all yesterday and all today, and I felt great in them so far. One of the things that I love about this t-shirt is just the fit of it. What I love on these is the arms. They sort of hug the arms, so even if you're a guy like me, who's like, you know, not the most ripped guy in the world, do a little something like this, and ooh, look how nice they hug the arms. They go around the entire arm, just really, really snug. They also have a ton of other nice products, so check out this hoodie that I got from them. Really cool, similar design to the shirt, but I really like this design. It's a very, very soft hoodie. Ooh, let's get these at the same. Honestly, these feel good quality. Oh my god, check that out. I didn't even notice. They have branded. Oh, I think someone told me what these things are called, but I completely forgot. But they're branded little ends of the strings for the hoodie. That is high quality stuff. Also got a beanie from them. I'm all kitted up. I'm all ready for winter, even though it's like 90 degrees outside right now. If you're not into all of the designs with a ton of stuff on them, they have a ton of just straight up basics, shirts, shorts, that kind of stuff. So if you want to just get some really nice high quality basics for your wardrobe, then absolutely check them out. And if you are interested in, you know, like more stuff like this, or even like louder, more crazy designs, they got a ton of stuff on their website. Go check it out. The link is in the description. And if you use my link, you get 10% off of your purchase. Thanks again to Into the AM for sponsoring today's video. All right, now that we're back, let's get into the VOD review. As I spoiled from, of course, like the thumbnail and the intro, this is going to be a Silco game where we're playing around Sorks. Let me move my mic a little bit. Hopefully this doesn't sound terrible for you guys. Okay, I just wanted to rotate it so it was like facing me. I do get this Demacia opener, so I think, okay, maybe we play around Demacia. This is post-nerf Demacia, so I put out the VOD yesterday about how strong you know, like Demacia is, because you get guaranteed Guinsoo on Kale, you get guaranteed BT on Fiora, and they immediately said, oh, that's kind of an issue, right? We cannot give Kale Guinsoo every game, so they've changed the items that you get on Kale and Fiora and those kind of units. So yeah, we're also playing Bard Legend because I wanted to try out Bard. Bard actually has new augments for his 4-2 augments. He has an augment that gives you a support item now, as opposed to the, like, seeing double augments that gave you like Deathblade, Bloodthirster, that kind of stuff. So yeah, we end up taking his gold augment, which I think is completely fine. It's not amazing, but it's not a terrible augment, or augment by any means. But we also can't really slam anything here. The only really assemblable item here is Archangels. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I played this early game kind of poorly now that I think about it. Yeah, like the only slam here is like Archangels. We could actually, honestly, okay, looking back on it, isn't it actually like a Morello slam? Like, I think I'm so against slamming stuff like Morello because of you know, like how the previous set was, where there's like no good Morello holder. But if we're thinking about potentially playing around Silco this game, and oh, this is actually a game before the patch went out yesterday, so I actually do have Guinsoo on Kale, but it doesn't matter because we're not playing around Kale this game. I could have actually slammed Morello's here. Morello's is now a slammable item because you have a reliable 4-cost carry, and we even had the Sona who like does a good job of item holding Morello's. Okay, so note to myself, literally from the beginning, I could have just slammed Morello's, it would have been fine. But I do see in this shop like a Taric, a Twisted Fate who can be like a multicaster, or who is just a multicaster, and I think, okay, maybe we can play around Sorks this game. I think someone in my my YouTube comments said leave it to Sub-Zero to pivot into Sorks under any circumstance, and okay, yeah, you're probably right. You are probably correct that no matter what, if I see one Taric, I'm like, oh my god, a Taric? It's a Sorks game. They actually changed Taric a bit in the mid-set, where now he doesn't shield 100%. He only shields like 50% of the damage his allies take, which is probably a good change, but feels a little bit sad for the Taric enjoyers in chat. So yeah, like if if I'm sort of playing default AP, I think I should probably have gone for like a JG or something here. I end up taking this item combination, which is okay. It's another rod, which can be like Ionic, and then the Chain Vest can just be Sunfire Cape. But like, I don't know. I actually, like, after seeing that Morello's line, my mind is blown. Like, there are actually so many. I mean, the problem is Morello is super unflexible, right? It's only really good on Silco, and it's, you know, like if you want to end up flexing into like a Zir, then you're gonna have to end up playing Silco as like a Morello holder. And also, of course, if we're making Sunfire, then we can't make Morellos. We're just gonna make sort of standard AP items this game. I'm not 100% sure yet what Silco's best in slot is, because he's kind of in a weird spot where like you'd really like to build like Morellos on him and like Gunblade. Like I would think, you know, like Renata Glask items for anyone who remembers that set. I forget what set that was, like 6, maybe. It definitely wasn't 5, and I don't think it was 7, so maybe it was 6. But yeah, like Renata items in set 6, where you would just go like blue buff Morello Gunblade. Like those are like make a decent amount of sense on Silco, but the problem is he gets all this extra like AP from his traits, so you'd really actually like to build a JG on him. So like you kind of want like 4 item Silco, and like there's no way you're giving up the blue buff. There's no way you're giving up the Morello, so like you're giving up Gunblade for JG, maybe, but he really wants fights to last long, so maybe not. I'm not sure yet. I'm sure, especially because they're bringing, I mean, we're always going to have unit stats, but they're also bringing back augment stats, but that's actually irrelevant to my point now that I think about it, because we're always going to have unit item stats, and they're never going to take those away from us. Riot Games will never take away the unit stats from us, apparently. Get a potential Crown Guard here, which is the item I built in the last video. It did pretty well for me there. We also see the Soraka. I do think, like, okay, I could still be open to playing, like, an Invoker's game from this position. We level here, get our free item component, and I think we end up going JG in this situation. It's between blue buff and JG. Okay, honestly, I'm so down to hop on PvE and, like, force some games of Silco, because, like, I build like pretty suboptimal Silco items this game, but I could already have a Morello blue buff on a Sona here, and then just be building those items to Silco here. So that's kind of, like, if that setup is good on Silco, which I believe it should be, like, that actually sounds like really, really nice. But I mean, at this point, we're just building sort of solid AP items, pretending like we're gonna play Lux carry, even though she doesn't exist anymore. I don't really love any of these, so I just roll. I hit Portable here, which I think can be a lot of good stuff, but I actually don't really like any of these options very much. It basically has to be Mana Zane. But the problem is that Silco is a pretty poor Mana Zane holder, in my opinion. I haven't seen the stats yet, like I said, like, we don't know for sure. But in my opinion, Silco sounds like a terrible Mana Zane holder. And then we get these items here. We can just make Ionic Spark, which is solid. And then we're just sort of left with these other components. But now, like, we don't really want to make, like, I mean, I guess we could make blue buff for Silco and then put Mana Zane on someone else like Vel'Koz. The upside is that it's a solid item right now, at least. But yeah, Mana Zane Silco I don't think is very good, just because he's just going to poison a bunch of units at the start. You'd prefer Silco to just be, like, hitting the priority targets multiple times, because, like, if say he throws his spell, and for you guys who don't know what Silco does, this is going to be kind of confusing, but I mean, we'll get him later into the game and then you can see. But what he does is he basically like throws poison on a big clump of enemies. And so like if he's already hit the main clump, then an extra cast is only going to be hitting you like an extra like 2-3 units probably. You really want to just be hitting that main clump on repeat, refreshing the poison, as opposed to just hitting other clumps. So yeah, I can't imagine that Mana Zane Silco is very good, but we'll see. And yeah, I mean, he's a pretty interesting unit. This game, I was honestly, on stream when I was playing, I was like flaming him a lot. I was like, Silco, what are you doing? Silco, you're not doing any damage. But like, honestly, later into this game, he actually becomes a beast once you get some like actual items on him. We do get a Silco here with Warmogs, which I think like you gotta take that in this position here. He's our 4th Sork onto the board, and it's a Warmogs for Taric. Like, yeah, you can't turn down this Silco in this position, I don't think. So yeah, I opt to potentially get in for... But yeah, you see, this is Silco's ability for those people who haven't seen it yet. So he throws a vial at a nearby enemy, covering adjacent hexes and shimmer for 6 seconds. So it lasts 6 seconds. It's poison on the ground. They take damage per time, 94 damage per second, and it heals allies in that area as well. So he's kind of like, he's almost like a supportive carry, you know, like he's a damage and he's also healing for his allies. He really likes just like extending fights, making them last forever. So yeah, he also, I guess like he does have this sort of like inbuilt healing. So like maybe you don't even want, but yeah, you'll see he throws that onto like that big clump of enemies there, and it's poisoning the entire clump of enemies. You look at the damage he deals, and even with no items, he dealt like 2k damage. I think I was a little too hard on Silco, honestly, because like that damage actually doesn't look bad. We get another Vel'Koz here. I probably should not duplicator this Vel'Koz. I don't believe that I do. Just because like I can just wait. I'm gonna roll it 4-1 anyway. We also Silco is a Sorcerer Zaun, which is a really interesting combination. But I check our Zaun mod and its adaptive implant. Like I don't think that one's very good in this situation. I guess you could give Silco some extra AP, but it doesn't really need it. But yeah, you see like this poison that spreads on the entire enemy front line, doing a little bit of damage. He ends up like making like huge hexes. Like if you get him casting a lot with something like a Mana Zane, where he hits like a ton of units. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I really just need to level and find something to play on 7. I need to find like Vel'Koz 2, Taric 2, and like a solid front line. It's awkward now with Sorks, right? You don't really want to play the Demacia line as much just because there's no Lux anymore. So you don't really want to go for Demacia as much as you used to. It doesn't fit in as easily as it did. But yeah, we're going to level here. I'm very dizzy, but on our first roll, we immediately hit an Ahri. This is like classic Sub-Zero Sork luck. Like we roll once and immediately hit an Ahri, and then roll another time and immediately hit a Shen. We make Guardbreaker here on Ahri. I accidentally almost put a 3-cost duplicator on Ahri, but that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I apologize, but you know, at this point, I'm just the Ahri whisperer, and that's life. You know, roll once, hit one Ahri on 7, all good. Roll another time, hit a Shen. I do need to find Karma for this board to activate Ionia. But yeah, okay. So I see Know Your Enemy here. And I think, okay, this Augment's probably good, and Infusion's probably really good, but I want to take the support item and just test out how good it is. I hit a Locket. I'm pretty sure, like, after playing with it a little bit, I think this Augment that gives you a support item is not the best. And I roll once, hit a Swain here, and I'm like, okay, like, maybe I can just be, like, done rolling at this point. I actually roll down a bit more, hit another Kassadin too, but I don't actually really see how I'm supposed to fit Kassadin. Like, I guess I could cut, like, Swain or something for Cast 2. That's probably correct here, and just drop out a 4 Sork or 5 Sork for now. But, I mean, at this point, I think my board's okay. I probably could have even stopped it after the Swain, especially because we're on PvE. But even on live, maybe. Probably not on live, actually, like in a Challengers lobby. Because, you know, like, people would be playing good boards. Oh, I also realized I'm not playing any music. 10 minutes in? I'm 10 minutes in. I'm starting my lo-fi. I'm sorry, guys. Hopefully the ambience will make up for it. I always forget. Because I've been a no music Andy for so long. But I think the music adds a little... I don't know. Tell me you guys like the no music or like the music? I think it adds a nice little ambience to the background. It makes the video seem a little higher quality. But yeah, I mean, at this point, we just want to make Silco items. Could be JG, could be blue buff. I thought about Hodge, but I don't think Hodge would really do much on him. But I mean, this Ahri is just carrying us through the early game, and then we can level next round, get in 6 Sork. We're going to be like a little bit broke leveling for 6 Sork, but it's a big upgrade to our board. But yeah, I look at Silco. Oh yeah, and Silco tries to juice his numbers there. You might see 500 healing and think he's good, but he does all this healing after the fight ends. So really, he only healed like 150, but then he just juices his numbers up and ups this up to like 500 or something, just post after the fight ends, because he's like, no, please don't cut me. We do see an Ahri here with 2 gloves on Carousel, which are definitely not like the best items to take in this spot, but like, can I really turn down picking up a second Ahri here? Like, no, not really. So I just grabbed the Ahri. We don't, of course, have like a 5-cost dupe or anything like that, and it's unlikely we're going to find another Ahri on 7. I did manifest to find an Ahri in this shop, but you know, you can't always get what you want. And we do get our final component here from the Bard Augment. So yeah, I actually forget what I take here. Maybe JG. Oh, I just go blue buff. Okay, I think blue buff's actually better, but I thought maybe I took JG. But yeah, I think blue buff here is really good just to get Silco casting as much as possible. He's already going to have a lot of AP. And you see, like, now he's throwing out the poison, a little bit of poison there, a little bit of poison there, healing up the team, healing... I mean, honestly, like, no damage, 1500 in this fight. But look, later he starts cooking. I also do think the combination of Silco plus Ahri actually feels really, really good. Because of the fact that, you know, like, Silco slowly like burns everything down a little bit, and then Ahri's the one who like finishes everyone off. So yeah, like I don't know, I feel like Silco Ahri is actually like a really potent combination. The problem is just like getting to Ahri. But I feel like they actually have really solid synergy. And then like you get all the sorcerer procs and all these units who have been brought really low, and you just zap and kill their whole board. Like, he actually seems like a really cool carry. Like, this fight did like 3,500 damage with just one item. Honestly, not even bad, considering that I have like Insano in slot on Ahri. I also find this Jarvan here, and I'm like trying to figure out like, okay, should I drop out of 4 Sork and play around this Jarvan, because I do kind of need like slightly better frontline. I don't know. I'm not actually sure 100% what's correct here, but I do end up holding on to the Jarvan here just for the possibility of hitting. And we do end up, I believe, hitting Jarvan 2 here, and then we start playing around it. My question though is if I play Jarvan here, like, what am I playing in my other slot? I do have to roll a good bit here to actually find a real board. So yeah, like, I can cut the Vel'Koz, but I have nothing to cut it for. Silk items here, I just go for a JGGS, which I think they seem fine on him. I do think Morello should probably go crazy on him for the same reason that, like, Morello went crazy on Renata Glask and, like, any kind of damage over time unit, because they keep refreshing that damage over time with the poison. So I feel like that should be really good. Also, you see, we end up just hitting another Taric here, so we randomly have, like, Taric too. I go Adaptive Helm here. I actually, like, because I was so dizzy from trying to figure out what my board was, I completely missed that I had another component Anvil. But yeah, I end up just cutting the Vel'Koz and then playing double Taric here. Not only does this allow me to make 10, but it's just, like, pretty strong. But yeah, I just make Adaptive Helm, which is a new item on my my Shen. If you guys want me to hover Adaptive Helm here, I'll do it because I'm a nice guy. But yeah, this is a new item here where it gives you different bonuses depending on if you're in the front rows or the back two rows. So it's like a very flex item. And you put in the back two rows and give your units AP and mana every 3 seconds, or front two rows and you just get armor and MR. So yeah, it's a pretty cool item that, like, you can build it, put it on a tank, put it on a carry, like, you can play it on anybody. The tank stats seem a bit underwhelming, like 30 armor and MR, but the carry stats seem pretty good. But, like, in this spot, I was kind of stuck. I had to make Adaptive. It was, like, the only tank item I could make, so, like, I think it makes sense. But yeah, like, you see in this fight, I don't know, maybe Ahri got assassinated or something, but Silco with 3 items actually outdamaged my Ahri with Mana Zane, which is kind of crazy. I decide, like, I need to roll here at least until I find Shen, especially because I'm, like, getting a little bit low. I'm 36 HP, but, like, I definitely need to, like, have enough gold so that I can hit Ahri as well. Also, Locket has been changed back to 5 hexes, so you can see, like, I'm putting Locket in the middle of 5 units here, so it's not a bad item. Definitely doesn't seem better than something like Know Your Enemy, or, like, a lot of the other gold augments, but maybe it's a decent, like, fallback option, I guess. It's not terrible. But yeah, also, if you guys aren't aware, because I know I've seen people before who are like, I don't know, like, what's this frontline Karma tech? You oftentimes, when you're, like, solo carrying this Ahri, put Karma in the front line because you want her to die so that she doesn't steal the Ionia bonus, because Ionia jumps around between all the Ionia units. Like you see here, I get a Karma pair, but I don't think it's even worth for me to hold this Karma pair, because I just want the Karma to die ASAP. I also really wanted a Bramble for my Taric, but I end up having to make Archangels on him, which is, like, it's probably not terrible, just to, like, get him casting, and then, like, he's going to cast once, make a big shield, and then, this Archangel is going to scale up a bit, and then, like, he's going to get another cast off eventually with the bigger, like, it's not terrible, probably, but yeah, not ideal, I would say. But yeah, I mean, like, look at this fight, 7,200 damage from Silco. I start thinking, like, okay, maybe I've been too hasty in my Flame Silco. Maybe you're actually a beast. And I think, like, in the right setup, he definitely can be. I just have to find out what that board is, because, like, I don't know, this board seemed kind of awkward. The fact that I'm playing, like, double Tarics on the board, like, I need to find something else to put in. But, like, what is it, man? Like, it's not like I'm gonna put in Targon. There's not even a good Zaun unit to play. Like, I'm gonna play Jinx. Like, it's not like there's Urgot anymore. If there was, maybe I'd play, like, an Urgot. There's no Urgot anymore. I have to play Jinx or Echo or Warwick as my my Zaun units. And I was thinking, I don't know, maybe there's some kind of, like, Warwick, Nasus setup, which is, like, that's probably more leaning towards, like, the Azir version, where you play, like, Warwick, Nasus, Azir, Swain, Silco, and then, I don't know, some other Shurima units. I mean, maybe it's just the like, Talia for a while until you get the Cassante, but I don't know. It's an interesting board to try to figure out. My items just, like, god-awful here, so I just take a Sterax. Like, I don't know. I mean, at this point, all of my units are itemized. It's actually so tough with this setup. But yeah, I'm rolling a bit here. I want to find Ahri 3. I do end up finding my Taric 3, which is nice. And I also realized, okay, wait a minute. I'm 7 Silcos at this point. I just want to Sterax my front line because, like, I don't think Sterax on Silco is going to do anything. Honestly, I should have rolled first, because if I had known that I had a second Silco, I could have itemized him and thrown, I don't know, something on him. Cardbreaker, I think, was one of our options. But yeah, I need, oh, and I just bumped the hell out of the mic, so I'm sorry. I need 2 Silcos. The problem is that everyone's dying. So now all the 4-cross are flooding back into the pool, which is going to make it even harder for me to find Silcos. If a few more people were alive, we could probably find Silco 3 in a few rolls, but because everyone's dead, it's going to be really tough. I also need to find Ahri 2. That's, like, the big sort of, like, guaranteed thing. That would be nice. But yeah, like, I don't know. I can't imagine your final board is supposed to look like this, but, like, it feels wrong to, like, cut Jarvan too when he's, like, giving me strategist and just being a really cool, like, Jarvan type guy. This fight is actually really unfortunate, by the way, where, like, my Silco gets killed before my frontline. I realized, like, okay, my positioning is, like, actually really troll here, So I'm just going to roll to 0 because I'm like, you know, 1 fight off dying and like RE2 would be huge. We do find Swain too, which is not bad, but I realized like, okay, I need to put my tanks on the same side as my carry. Like I cannot have this be my front line in front of the Silco because Silco's just going to die immediately. I also do throw my Silco just in the middle here, just so that he can get better odds of hitting like the biggest possible clump of units. But I mean, honestly, I don't know. This board that we're fighting, we actually kill like the entire board up until this Darius, but then he gets 50 resets. Gets me down to 4 HP, but I do have Carousel, so Ari or Silco off Carousel goes crazy here. Unfortunately, I hit neither, so I'm forced to just take like a 5-cost Declaw. I'm gonna slam that on Swain, and hope that this is enough to find my Silco 3, to find my at least RE2. I'm gonna roll a couple times. No Silco, no Silco, no Silco, no Silco, no Silco, and yeah, I don't hit anything. I could sell my my second Silco 2 and roll here, but I just say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna trust that I can actually beat this board. The board doesn't look that insane, so I'm just gonna trust that I can beat this. Like I know they're on a super win streak, but I'm like, I don't actually like see like where all their damage is. Like I think we can actually beat this guy. The problem being is that it's really hard for me to get through this Nasus. We just barely cannot kill it, and we end up dying to these here. So it ends up being a third with Sorks. It was a very, very fun game, very fun playing around the Silco unit. I definitely think my items were suboptimal, so I do really want to get to like perfect Silco items sometime. But today was not that day. In any case, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, go check out the sponsor, Into the AM, as well. Thanks again for them sponsoring the video. The link is in the description down below, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.